This was one of our problems that we worked on in class, so I'm just going to remind you what it is. It started off with just the 8 for your hypotenuse and 5 for the side across from the angle. You had to find this letter B. The side was there. So all this work over here is showing how we found out that B was square root of 39. So remember, you have Pythagorean theorem. First side squared plus the second side squared, which at the time we did not know, equals the hypotenuse squared. 25 plus b squared equals 64. We subtracted 25. B squared equals 39, so b was the square root of 39. Okay, and then you see here, you had to one at a time do sine, cosine, tangent. Remember that you have to rationalize. You can't leave a square root in the denominator. So we multiplied top and bottom by square root of 39. Then we did the reciprocal. The reciprocal of sine is cosecant, so flip sine's answer upside down. We flipped secant's answer upside down and rationalized it. And we flipped cotangent's answer upside down. Device now. So I have an angle, I have the side opposite that angle, and I have a side adjacent to that angle. And I'm going to use trig to figure out what that missing angle is. I've got an opposite side and an adjacent side. What trig expression should I use to figure that out? You have two options. Sine won't help me because I don't have hypotenuse. Tangent will help me because tangent, I know the tangent is the opposite over the adjacent. Or you could use cotangent. Cotangent is the adjacent over opposite. It doesn't matter which you use. You'll get the right answer. So the way we're going to use this now is fill in to that definition everything we have. We have the tangent at 37 degrees, so I'm going to fill in 37 for my angle. I do not have the opposite, so I'm going to put A there. That is an A. And for adjacent, I'm going to put 250. So you're going to use your calculator here because your calculator needs to tell you what is the tangent of 37 degrees. In your calculator, before you do this, make sure you have it set to degrees and not radians. Radians are when you deal with pi over 6, pi over 2. So you have a key at the top that says mode. Hit your mode. And then you have the second line or third line down says radian or degree. Make sure degree is highlighted.
You gotta do that every time?
No, I should hold it until you change it again.
Oh, sweet. Fuck knows.
So highlight degree and hit enter. Okay, and now you notice 2 rows above the 7, 8, and 9 key. You see sine, cosine, and tangent. So I'm going to hit tangent of 37. Close my parentheses. Actually, before I do that, I got some algebra to do. Oh no. Sorry. Before you do that in your calculator, let's work with this. Hello. Let's work with this equation so we can do it all in one step and save ourselves some time. I want A by itself. Right now I'm dividing by 250. I have to multiply both sides by 250. That will get A all by itself, which is what I want. So now in your calculators, you have 250 times tangent of 37. And we're going to round to the nearest angle. Nearest whole number. So that third side is about 188 centimeters.
I like that though.
You like those?
Yep.
They're good? Mm-hmm. Okay, so your task always, though, is to look at the angle you have, look at whether you have hypotenuse, opposite, adjacent, look at the sides you have, and then determine should you use sine, cosine, or tangent. Because it won't always be the same. Okay, let's look at this one. What is happening over there?
Stretching.
That is the loudest stretch. Are you? I'll tell you what. It's like varsity whining squad. It's very misleading when they use this notation because that looks like that notation is for inverse, like when you do reciprocal. So we're not talking about the reciprocal here. We're not talking about flip it upside down. What we're talking about is getting back to the actual angle. So if you know what the cosine of an angle is, you can do this function in your calculator. Some of you might have arc cosine as a function. These two functions mean the same thing. So you do arc cosine to figure out the actual angle. So if you look above your cosine on your calculator, you'll see one of these two things. You'll either say cosine of -1 or it'll say arc. So you have to use your second key to hit that. And now put this in here, the 3 divided by 5. And then close your parentheses. And it will tell you the angle is about 53 degrees. So that's how to use that arc cosine function. So if you want to get back to the angle, this is your symbol right here. Nice and easy. All right, so do that for 6 and 7. I don't even think you need another example for that. 6 and 7, find the angle for 6 and 7. Are those the same thing?
Yeah.
Oh, once in a radian. We just want degrees right now.
Well, I'll be there soon.
Sorry. Radians is when it's in language of pi. We just want degrees right now, so ignore the radian one. So what's the angle about? 77 if you round. 76.7 rounds up to 77. So that's how to use your inverse cosine symbol. Okay, now flip over for me 8 and 9. So you have two triangles there. All three sides were given to you. And I want you to find the secant at 30 degrees, the sine at 60, and then it's not written on here, so you have to write this in. You could call it 9b. I want you to find the tangent at 45 degrees. So you have to figure out which triangle to use, which angle you're looking at.
Say the last one again.
Tangent at 45 degrees. Add that in there. Tangent at 45.